Okay, this is continuing the video series of drafting for beginners. And now where we left off in the last video is we had put in a house into a site area that was around 80 feet wide by 130 feet deep. And we talked about numbering indexes and title blocks, a little bit about where the positions go. And so now I want to talk a little bit about, for instance, let's say in this case we're going to do an addition. So I'm just going to pop in a little addition here real quick. Let me see if I could see addition. Here it is. Okay, so here's an addition here. This will represent a 20 by 20 addition to this house. And I did this very simplistic, so I'm keeping it very, very simple. So what you have here is you have a roof line of the existing house and you have an existing garage back there. Of course, you would label all that. And then you have an area that you're going to be doing an addition to. So you really want to show focus because you're doing an addition and this is your scope of work is the addition, then you want to bring your attention towards it. So what you do is you could nowadays you could hatch it in. So let me see if I could put this on. Okay, so this would be the addition area, and it might have the text in here, addition, and the square footage, and so forth. And I'm going to put the roof on here. So here's a roof, and so we have the roof, and we have what they call hatching, and this hatching is what's causing the observer or the plan examiner or anybody that's looking at this plan to understand the story of what's going on. And what the drafter is doing is he's trying to bring attention towards this area of the house. So that would represent hypothetically an addition, let's just say. And so now I've seen it in the past where people have hatched the area that they don't want you to look at and then keep this area clear. That is not correct. The site plan is just the purpose of the site plan is just to focus on where the change occurs. So the next thing I want to talk about is dimensioning, some simplistic dimensioning. And now I want to talk about over dimensioning a little bit. In this case here, where you have a site plan, you don't want to over dimension and you don't want to under dimension. But I'll talk a little bit about the do's and don'ts when it comes to simple dimensioning. So I'm going to go into a layer that would host my dimensioning, and I'm going to go into model space. Let me see. No, actually, yeah, okay, right here. So here's the model that I drew and as an example, and I'm going to go ahead and start putting a few dimensions in here to describe what's going on and to dimension what's going on. So in this case, I might want to dimension the front of the house versus the property line. So, we might put one dimension indicating that. So I would have to zoom in and would say 25 feet, for instance. Should have made these a little bit bigger. Then I would do what they call a continuous dimension and continue to dimension, well, what's the distance between the beginning of the house towards the end of the house. That would be another dimension. And then what we really want to focus on is how big is this addition? So I'm going to hit continue dimension and I would click it there, and that indicates 20 feet. So it's roughly 20 feet. The house is 35 feet deep and it's about 25 feet from the front of the property line. That's a simple dimension, but it's an incomplete dimension, and I'll tell you why. What you do is, of course, we might dimension the width of this addition, and also not that you have to, because you already have a dimension here showing this dimension, but let's say you would want to show how much is left over in this area. So you would do like a continuous dimension, and then maybe just showing that the existing house is about 5 feet away from the property line there. So both of these dimensions here are very simplistic. It just basically focuses on the the main focus of what's going on here. But what is wrong with this dimension is they're not complete. So these are actually called subdimensions, and then you have the main, actually primary, or the main dimension, and that would be from here to here. So why I said this is because these dimensions are incomplete to leave them this way. To properly do drafting, you never really want to leave dimensions incomplete. And so this one is also incomplete. You would want to have a dimension from here, let's say for here, and that would be, you would want to top off your dimension with your primary dimension, and then your subdimensions would be below that, and then you might have some additional dimensions in between that. So it's kind of like a minor major. Like for instance, if you look at civil engineer, actually earthwork type civil plans, you have minor lines, and then you have major lines that are come every so often. So that's kind of like the same idea. You have major dimensions and then minor dimensions, kind of the same thing like that. So anytime that you do dimensions to a site plan, you want to always finish them off. You don't want to over dimension. In other words, I've seen in the past where you have all these types of dimensions in here, from this window to that window, and that's important sometimes, but it would be downstream on another sheet. It would have to depict that information. But for site plans, you should keep it very, very simple and to the point. So in this case, really the main thing is in this site plan is how big this addition is, and it's the depth and the width. So it's very, very easy to understand what you're dealing with and looking at. So and also the last thing I want to talk about on this video is the units. So a lot of times I see people using 75 feet and a half, or 5/8 or 3/8, and in architecture, it's very rare. It's not forbidden, but it's very rare that we use fractions. There are times you do use fractions, and that's usually when dimensioning. I'll give you an example, like a handrail. A handrail might be, 4 and 3, or 3 1/4 away from the wall line, and you'll have that in details, something like that, or maybe a section view where you might want to show the distance between the interior floor and an exterior floor might be a inch and a half. So you have to go into a fraction. But for site dimensioning, I've seen this before, or even layout. When you're doing layout, you really never do use fractions. You never use fractions. It's you always have it's everything is rounded to inches. So you would have 75 11 inches, 75 6 inches, 75 5 inches, whatever the distance is. But 75 feet 5 inches and a half is not correct. You don't want to use architects don't use those numbers or those fractions or decimals either. In other countries where they use metric, they might. I'm not sure, but they might. I don't do drafting in metric, so they might use point 50 for certain dimensions that are on site plans. I don't know. I don't have experience in that. But anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about today's video, and uh, then we're going to go into layout. This is the would be the next page, and I'm gonna use this edition as an example of. So we're gonna continue this edition and go into layout for our next lesson. Thanks a lot.